Hi everybody, today I wanted to show you something different. I've usually made white rice and quinoa in my Instant Pot, but today I'm going to try out this wild rice. So you get this in Trader Joe's and this is kind of what it looks like. So what I did is I put 3 times the water so basically I took 3/4 cup of the wild rice, 1/4 of a tricolor quinoa in there, just to mix it up a little bit, and I just put in 3 times the water. Now on the packet it does have different instructions, but I've noticed that this should work, especially because we are pressure cooking. The packet does not give you pressure cook instructions, so it should cook faster. Adding a little bit of salt in here, and that's it. So again, you could make some lentils in here that take longer to cook, but basically I'm gonna cook this for a little bit longer than your usual rice mode. So rice mode generally runs for about 12 minutes, and I'm gonna try this out for about 20 minutes. Okay, so I close this out and it is now in sealing position. So here we go. I'm gonna use rice, and then the pressure is going to adjust to high, and I also wanted to adjust the time, which so here you go. This was the first time I was trying this on, and if you're in rice mode, which actually I'm gonna cancel out of this and I'm gonna use the multigrain mode, and then high is good, and then I'm gonna change this. So like you can see, if you're in normal rice mode, you cannot adjust the timing, but in multigrain mode you can do that. Okay, so 3 times the water, and then because we are not draining off the water, it's okay if you want to drain off the water. Pressure cooking is not the best thing, and you would rather do it on a stovetop. So there you can see it is now on high. In the meantime, I wanted to share another recipe with you. So this is kind of a quick thing. I'm gonna make what's called Kadhi. So Kadhi is a very popular recipe from the western state of Gujarat in India, and it is yogurt based. So I have about a cup of yogurt in here, and you want to make it kind of consistent, so there aren't any major lumps in here. So just do that. Sometimes when you have yogurt for a long time, you may not feel like it's fresh to eat by itself. That's when Kadhi works really well, especially if your yogurt is sour. This thing works well. It's very simple. In my saucepan over here, I have 1 clove of garlic and about 1/2 inch of ginger, minced or just zested. I also have a little bit of green chili. So again, adjust the amount of green chili based on your spice level. Then what we need is a couple of tablespoons of chickpea flour. This is also called besan, and you want to add a little bit of water in there, make it a nice paste so there are no lumps. So make both of these lump free, and then we are going to add it into the saucepan. So I've added both those things in here. To this I'm going to add some water. Now the for a cup of yogurt, a couple of tablespoons of chickpea flour is good, based on how thick or thin you want your kadhi, or if you want it very soupy, you can add more water, less chickpea flour. So it all depends. You can adjust the ratio slightly. So this is not exact science. A lot of times I know you guys ask me to write down all the quantities, and I do tell you those when I'm talking about them. But again, if you have minor changes here and there in these recipes, it's mostly forgiving. I mean, where the ratios have to be followed to the T, I will let you know. Okay, so I added some water. Let me mix this up a little bit. So once you add the water, you just mix it up nicely. Add salt to taste. And you can adjust it later. So what we're going to do is, you saw there was no oil in this, nothing. What we are going to do is bring this, put this on low to medium heat and bring it to a light boil. You don't want to turn on the heat too high, otherwise the yogurt is going to curdle. Okay. So my curry is kind of heating up. You can see the steam rising from there, which is what I want. I do not want a vigorous boil, so I'll let that continue to heat up and come to a light boil. In the meantime, I have my tempering vessel in here. So what we are going to do is we are going to temper cumin seeds, mustard seeds, and put them into the curry, which is why we never had any oil or anything at the beginning. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And then what I want to do is add some clarified butter or ghee. Okay. So what this will do is it will give you a nice taste of the ghee, but you don't need too much. Now you are welcome to go all out with the ghee as well. No worries with that. So let that come to a nice tempering temperature. In the meantime, I'll tell you what we need. We need asafoetida or hing. We need some dry red chilies, so maybe a couple. And then from my spice box, all we need is mustard seeds and cumin seeds. Okay, and this is called kadhi, or you could also say curry, but really, I mean, the way we say it in Gujarati is kadhi. And you need what is known as curry leaves. So these are curry leaves. If you have your plant, you can pluck from there. I have my own curry leaf plant, or you can get them at the Indian store. So I have a few, like maybe 5 to 7 leaves in here, and because this is curry, really it needs to have curry leaves in there. So I'm gonna show you my curry that's come to a boil. I'm gonna take it off the heat and just place it over there, and this should be hot by now. So there, as you see, you hear the sizzle. Cumin seeds, mustard seeds, break that chili if you want, or just let it go in there. Curry leaves, you can use a smaller spoon. Again, I want to stay away, so I'm gonna try and be far, but it's spluttering, be careful. I do want to show you this. As we can see, once it's done, couple more seconds, what's happening is some of the seeds and oil is spluttering over the cooktop, which is why you see that heat coming from there. Again, you don't want everything to burn, but just be careful. So I'm trying to point it away from me. I'm gonna make sure okay, so you're good, and you're gonna hear that sizzle. I love that sizzling noise, and that is what gives it a really good taste. So gonna turn my gas to low, and I'm gonna get in every bit of those cumin seeds and mustard seeds into the curry. Okay, so now you want to let it heat for another 5 minutes or so and incorporate those flavors from the tempering. Now you're like, why is she showing us such a simple recipe? But if you've seen my channel, you know me, like every recipe has to be a little bit, has a little twist, or it has to be slightly different. So there are variations of curry that you can make in different parts of the country. In Gujarat, it's very much like thin, watery. They also add sugar, but this is my version. Now in another place you also get what's known as kadhi pakoda, and that time you have some you can add onions and you can add some masalas. Now what I'm going to do is I have what's known as the kadhi masala. Now I know my bottle is generic, but you can find these specialty masalas in India. If you have them, that's fine, otherwise it's optional. Okay, and I added about a teaspoon of that masala. Gives a nice flavor to it. Going to let it mix in there. You can add it before the tempering as well. Just so it cooks down a little bit more. Again, taste your salt at this point. Now, since I was talking about kadhi masala, so you will have your masalas in there. This one, again, you don't need your kadhi pakoda, but if you don't want to make pakoda, you don't want to fry pakodas, here's my shortcut. These are veggie bites. You get these in Costco, they come frozen, and They're really nice. They're made out of chickpea flours as well. So the pakoda is also made out of chickpea flour. And then there are some veggies in there like carrots and stuff. And see it in here, I think. So I'm going to put these in at the end and then let them just warm up with the heat of the kadhi. And that's going to be my kadhi pakoda. So while I finished up the kadhi, I had about 10 minutes remaining, and I thought, let me prep up something else in this time. So here's what I'm gonna do. We have our curry, we have our rice. I wanted to make a vegetable, so I'm gonna show you a quick recipe in here. I have my frying pan in here with some oil. Again, you can take 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil in here, and I'm gonna make potatoes. These are cut up sliced, so these were about 6 to 7 very small red potatoes. So you can take 2 to 3 big ones. Again, just slice them up. Just so they're almost like kind of look like fries. And so the idea is again to cook them up nice and crisp. And which is why I'm not putting them in the IP. Because I know IP can do a lot of things, but some things are still better done on the stovetop. So as this heats up, we got some, again, hing or asafoetida. So let that sizzle. Okay, so putting in some mustard seeds, cumin seeds. Now you're free to add onions to this recipe as well as green chilies. So as you can see, I added the turmeric to the oil because I wanted the potatoes to get a nice yellow color. My gas is on medium high. Adding some more curry leaves in here. And again, because they had water in them, they're gonna sizzle. I'm gonna add the potatoes. You want to be sure to take a nice wide mouth fry pan in for this because we don't want the potatoes to steam. Toss them nicely. And now I'm going to add some salt. I also added some red chili powder, very less for this recipe. I didn't want to make it too spicy, but like I said, adjust the spice level. Now all I'm going to do is let this get the potatoes out into a single layer as much as possible. Cover them for a little bit, but not too long, and cook them up so that they get crisp. So as you can see the nice brown color and the crispiness on these potatoes. Continue to make that happen and then turn down the heat so that the potatoes cook from inside. And my rice is done. I'm just letting it natural release, and I will show you what everything together looks like.